the most scenic drag race of the year. The scenery is indeed interesting, if you know what I mean. Parking area also is a little unusual. You have to look very hard to see anything with 4 wheels. It's mostly 2-wheeled machines. Yep. The AHDRA All Harley Drags 1995. First round of Top Fuel Eliminator. First class out of the gate after qualifying. And at this point, the records are already starting to fall. The pairings there on the screen. First pair, John Russell on the right lane. That's the left side of your screen. Right side, Bill Furr. Furr from Orangeburg, South Carolina. Russell from Willard, Ohio. All class racing with the exception of the ETT bracket in the AHDRA racing lexicon. That is, all the classes run heads up. There is no dial-in involved. All of these classes run off a 4/10 Pro tree. You burn out, you stage it. When the light flashes yellow, you twist the throttle, pop the clutch, and hope you stay on 2 wheels. These are some wild, wild racing machines. Furr, Russell, pre-stage, staged, gone. Watch the 8th mile times. 4:55 with an 8 at 158. Bill Furr goes into round number 2. Russell out with a 5:11. Next pair on the burnouts. This is Jim McClure from Williamsburg, Virginia, and Jay Turner from Whitsett, North Carolina. Cloud of tire smoke still drifting up from the starting line. Significant hole shot right side. Jay Turner. Engine going away. Jay Turner takes the win. 472 with a 4 at 151. Jim McClure, engine troubles, goes goodbye with a 476. Still in the first round of Top Fuel Eliminator. This is Paul Plummer Sr. from Cumberland, Maryland, and Steve Storter from Cincinnati. Plummer Sr. in the left lane, Storter the right side. His machine's all running heavy percentage of nitromethane. As I was walking through the pit area on this Sunday, all of the mechanics were telling me the track was taking every bit of horsepower they could make. Look at them carry the front wheels way down track. 452 at 164 for Steve Storter. Outstanding pass and takes the win light. 452 with a 2. That's just a taste away from the national record in Top Fuel in terms of ET. Final pair of bikes. Bob Spina from Brentwood, New York. Closest to the camera, getting pushed back after his burnout. On the right side, Alan Peterson, furthest from the camera, from Titonka, Iowa. Spina, the holder of the 8th mile elapsed time record for the AHDRA and the speed record as well. Both will set at Piedmont Dragway, 450 with an 8 at 159.54 for the 8th mile. Both bikes inching their way forward into the staging beams. This is round 1 action in Top Fuel, both pre-staged. Peterson first to stage. First to leave, but there goes Spina. 468 with a 0 at 152. Alan Peterson, outstanding pass, but not good enough. 480 with an O at 150. and loses. Pro Fuel, round number 1, just a notch below Top Fuel, and you'll see some of the same names come up, especially that first pair. Bill Furr from South Carolina, this time staging up with Derek Nelson from Windham, Ohio. Once again, Furr in the tower lane, closest to the camera. Nelson in the pit lane. Does burn out first. Furr does his burnout and inches up toward the starting line. It has been said you don't really drive these machines, you aim them. In a way that's true, in a way it's not so true. Because if you, in a sense, you do aim them, because that's literally all you can do. But look at how far they're carrying that front wheel down track and how much they do have to steer him at the big end. Bill Furr goes 464 at 148.8 miles per hour and takes the win. Heads into round number 2. Next pair. Closest to the camera, the tower lane, Mike Rice from Medina, Ohio. Steve Moore from Spartanburg, South Carolina, in the pit lane. All of these 8-bike qualified fields. The quickest 8 bikes get in the show. The rest go home. And as I recall, we had 12 Top Fuel Harley Davidsons trying to qualify for those 8 spots. Great showing, especially for the fuel machines. Field a little less than full in pro stock, but definitely there in all of the other racing divisions for the All Harley Drags 95 here at Kare Dragway. Better reaction time went right side to Steve Moore. He takes the win at 5 seconds flat. 5,000 at 147 over Mike Rice. Next pair, left lane, Ziggy Stewart from Lenexa, Virginia. And Jack Romine from Centerville, Michigan. Real difference between the Top Fuel and Pro Fuel machines is displacement. There is a specified limit you cannot go above in Pro Fuel. In Top Fuel, you can run whatever you've got the courage to lay over the top of and head down the racetrack. Still running very heavy loads of nitromethane. That's where all the horsepower and all the speed come from. Once again, watch them carry the front wheels down track. Look at there. Jack Romine goes 476 with a 4 and 145. Romine takes the win and heads into round number 2. Last pair for the first round in Pro Fuel. Closest to the camera, Pat May from Youngstown, Ohio. Right lane, David Horsnall from Trenton, New Jersey. Side your winner, David Horsnall. Ace troubled, but still good pass at a 5:19 with a 3 at 136 miles per hour. As I mentioned a few moments ago, Pro Stock, the only category where the field was light. What that resulted in was 3 solo passes in the first round of Pro Stock. The AHDRA using an unusual ladder system for less than full fields. What that results in is all of the buys take place in the first round. Gives us 4 machines into round number 2. And, of course, 2 for the final, round number 3. First solo pass goes to John Wade, Aiken, South Carolina. Machine qualified in the 570 range. Good launch. Good pass down track. ET board comes up. Nice. 567 at 120 for the 8th mile. The only matched pair for round 1 in pro stock. Tower side, Ed Drake from Akron, Ohio. Staging up with Tom Caldwell from Knoxville, Tennessee. And you may have already seen the wave from Ed Drake, telling Tom Caldwell, go ahead and stage it, man. I ain't going to be there. So it will be all buys for round 1 in pro stock. Tom Caldwell will stage. All he has to do is stage under his own power, take the green light, and he is into round number 2. And right about now, Tom Caldwell is thinking, oh, I'm sure glad that was a bye run. Not spectacular. 8:14 at just 92 miles an hour. Next up, a young lady who has caused quite a stir on the AHDRA circuit. Excellent rider, Lori Francis from Palatine, Illinois. Her single pass, a 597 at 122. And that brings to the line B.J. Simon from Amherst, Ohio. Once again, there's also a single run because of the eliminator ladder used by the AHDRA. And Simon goes 651 at 107, and that's the first round in pro stock. We move into pro dragster, round number 1, and there is the most unusual helmet in the place. They call it the Flying Cockroach. Qualified number 1 with an unbelievable performance advantage on the field. From Nutley, New Jersey, Drums Brancacchio. Drums is qualified number 1 just about every place the bike has gone in 1995. The 8th mile record here already set at Kare Dragway, held by Mike Nunley at a 484 with a 6. Front wheel on Brancacchio's Harley as he launches. Look at that. Look at. It's not there. It finally sets down at about the 330 mark. He goes 492 at 142 and change. And he's into round number 2. 5 bikes qualifying in pro dragster. Paul Plummer Jr. on the tower side, and Brian Skinner from Glen Mills, Pennsylvania. He'll run the pit lane. Plummer from Cumberland, Maryland. Skinner, as I mentioned, from Glen Mills, Pennsylvania. Once again, this is all heads-up drag racing, 4/10 pro tree. No dial-ins. Absolutely heads up. You leave at the flash of the yellow and head down track. Definite advantage off the line to Plummer. Winlight goes same place. Paul Plummer Jr. 567 with an O at 120, and he's into round number 2. Brings up the other pair for the first round in pro dragster. Greg LaFawn from Edgefield, South Carolina, and Tommy Sloan from Easley, South Carolina. Slow in your winner in a 5:14 with an O at 139 to a troubled 678 at just 89 miles an hour. We'll move into Pro Gas round number 1. Full field here. 8 bikes. Here's your first pair. Tower side, Glenn Headings from New Columbia, Pennsylvania. And pit lane, Joe Tudor from Holland, New York. Substantial reaction time advantage, Joe Tudor. He takes the win. 5:56 with an O at 124. His light is 6:17. Headings a 7:01. Next pair. Left lane, closest to the camera, Ken Bradfield from Fremont, Ohio. And Stuart Whitey from Baltimore, Maryland. Running the right lane, the lane furthest away from the camera position. And if you look closely, you will see intense conversation between Stuart Whitey and his crewman back there just coming out of the water box. Bradfield is at the line, inching his way forward toward the staging beams. Very concerned looks on the faces of Stuart Whitey's crew, and you'll see why. Bradfield off his bike for a second, then back on. And there it is. Stuart Whitey's machine brakes right at the starting line. He dropped the clutch, and it dropped the transmission. Bradfield goes to round 2 at a 6:36 at 107.
Not performing as genuine qualifying.
And there is Stuart Whitey's crew taking a look. Hands on hips, looking down at the bike, going, man. More words we can't say even on cable television. Russell Guffey and Lee Colesman here. Colesman from Morgantown, West Virginia. Guffey from Newcastle, Indiana. Pro Gas round number 1. Lee Colesman with a win. 5:64 at 120 miles per hour. Left side's your winner. Final pair for round 1 in Pro Gas. Greg Beckman from Eyota, Minnesota. On the tower side, that's the right side as you look at your television screen. Tim James from Tarrantern, Pennsylvania. Running the right lane, the lane furthest away from the camera position. That it's rather hard to do with a 4/10 Pro tree is red light or foul start. Watch carefully. Greg Beckman just did. Tim James will be the easy win at a 12:70 with a 6. At just 32 miles per hour. All he had to do was drive through the big end. Greg Beckman's light, a 3:82 red light. Pro Modified round number 1. 7 bikes qualified here. Wayne Pollock from Garner, North Carolina. Number 1 qualifier, draws the bye.
Boy, this has been a real tough team to beat last year.
Pollock qualified at a 5:67 to face the field. Bike launch is good, heads down track. 5:65 at 118. Wayne Pollock into round number 2 on a very strong pass. Country Mains from Goldsboro, North Carolina. Left lane. Carl Pitts from Clyde, Ohio, right lane. Modified class. Cubic inch limitations. Gasoline only. No nitromethane, no alcohol, and carburetors. No fuel injection. And once again, this class also is heads-up racing. No dial-ins involved. Still 4/10 Pro Tree. And trouble on the burnout for Carl Pitts. Country Mains will take the single and head into round number 2. 6'10" and 114.
6.100. 114.
Pro Modified round 1 action continues. Michael Acton and Craig Lucas. Lucas is from Akron, Ohio. Acton from Waldorf, Maryland. Time advantage off the line. Craig Lucas by a bunch. Will it hold up? No. Acton with the win. 587 with a 9 at 116 miles per hour. Lucas quicker off the line, slowed to just 90 on the big end. Jerry Roseski from Akron, Ohio. And Juan Sakata from Springfield, Virginia. See some trouble for Sakata there on the burnout. Roseski really taking his time coming up to the line. Waiting on Juan Sakata at an excellent display of sportsmanship. Both bikes now pre-staged. Roseski in, Sakata in. Roseski breaks right off the line. Juan Sakata will take the win. That is 6:22 at 111. And you can hear the bike breaking up just a little bit as it made the pass down the 8th mile. Final round in A class. Tim James and Jeff Ebach. Ebach from Akron, Ohio. James from Tarrenton, Pennsylvania. This is the A class final round. Sportsman tree, 5/10. Better reaction time did go right side to Tim James, but here comes Jeff Ebach. He takes the win, 7:34 at 91. The B class final, Mike Nicholson's from Statesville, North Carolina. Bobby Pettit from Moore, South Carolina. Once again, Nicholson closest to the camera. Pettit in the far lane. 5/10 Sportsman tree, both of them pre-staged. Better reaction time goes Nicholson, left side. Wind light goes right side. Bobby Pettit. 6:20 with an O at 103 miles per hour. And this is your C class final, and it is a single. Only one bike entered in Class C for the AHDRA Nationals at Kilcare Dragway. Michael Shute from Milford, Michigan. Stage is up, takes the green, wind lights on. Goes 6:22 at 111.
at 1:12.93.
And the F-class final. Ted Hewitt from Sarnia, Ontario, Canada. Mike Long from Casey, South Carolina. Once again, this class racing also is all heads up. Lights down, bikes away. Oh, you can see the much better reaction time to Ted Hewitt. But Mike Long takes the win, 688 with a 7 at 100 even. And we move on into our U-class final. Ken Bradfield, Charlie Kirch. Bradfield from Fremont, Ohio. Kirch from Woodhaven, Michigan. Kirch already in. Waiting on Bradfield to inch his way forward into the teams. See the much better reaction time when Charlie Kirch right side, but he fades at mid-track. Here comes Ken Bradfield for the win at a 7:10 with a 4 at 100. And we move on into Top Fuel round number 2. Bill Furr, Jay Turner. Turner from Whitsett, North Carolina. Furr from Orangeburg, South Carolina. Furr in the first round went 4:55 with an 8 at 158 miles an hour. Turner first round 4:72 with a 4 at 151. The decided performance advantage. Bill Furr. Once again, the records here, 4.50 with an 8 at 159. Both bikes away. Oh, and Furr is on a pass. Look at that. Watch the boards. 4:56 at 166 miles per hour in the 8th mile. Furr with the win and a new national record at 166 miles an hour. Here's a guy who took the record from Bob Spina from Brentwood, New York. Staged it up with Cincinnati and Steve Storter. Spina in the first round, a 4:68 at 152. Storter the first round, a 4:52 at 164. Machine staging up carefully after the burnout. Getting exactly in that narrow stripe of rubber they just laid down. Tire smoke still hanging over the starting line. Both bikes move in. Both bikes away. Good lead, both sides. Excellent pass. Win light goes Steve Storter. The upset, 4:54 with a 2. At 160 miles per hour, Bob Spina goes out at a 4:59. Heading back toward the pits. Getting ready for the final round. Pro Fuel round number 2. Dave Horsdahl from Trenton, New Jersey. Jack Romine from Centerville, Michigan. Romine in the first round ran a 4:76 at 145. Romine the first round. Horsdahl the first round. 5:19 with a 3 at 136. A huge performance advantage. for Jack Romine. Horsnall closest to the camera. Romine furthest away. Both free-stage. Through the 8th mile, and look at there. David Horsnall goes 470, make that 466 with a 7 at 150 miles per hour. A half second quicker than his last pass. Did they find it or what? Steve Moore closest to the camera from Spartanburg, South Carolina. And Bill Furr, who just went 166 miles an hour on his top fuel bike, the quickest, make that the fastest 8th mile in history for a top fuel Harley Davidson. Station time with Steve Moore. Moore just finishing up his burnout. Excuse me, Furr just finishing up his burnout. Moore is closest to the camera. Moore, the first pass, went 5 seconds even. Furr, first round, 464. Shot right side for Bill Furr, and the win line 473 at 147 and shade. And that's round 2 in Pro Fuel. Into Pro Stock round number 2. Tom Caldwell and John Wade, Laurie Francis and B.J. Simon. Caldwell closest to the camera from Knoxville, Tennessee. Wade from Aiken, South Carolina, on the right side. Three-stage lights on. Wade stages. Caldwell stages. And leaves way too early. John Wade with a win at a 5:56 at 122. The other semifinal pair in Pro Stock, Laurie Francis, B.J. Simon. Francis from Palatine, Illinois. Right side of your screen. B.J. Simon from Amherst, Ohio, left side of your screen. And Simon leaves way early, hands the win to Laurie Francis at a 5:68 and 121. And just at the end of that last shot, you could see what was starting to appear on the horizon. Clouds. Again. Yet. Still. Pro Dragster round 2, Paul Plummer Jr. And the man, drums, Brancacchio. Drum went 492 with 142 in the first round. Plummer, a 5:67, 0.6 of a second slower in the 8th mile. But all he can do is take a real shot on the tree and hope something goes wrong for drums Brancacchio. Brancacchio again carrying the front wheel. Oh, and look at the speed. 497 at 142 and change again. Here's your other pair in the semifinals in Pro Dragster. Paul Plummer Sr. and Tommy Sloan. Sloan closest to the camera from Easley, South Carolina. Plummer Sr. from Cumberland, Maryland. He's running the right lane. Slow in the first round, ran a 5:14. Plummer Sr. first round, a 5:67. Big advantage at the starting line, big advantage at the finish line. Tommy Sloan heads for the finals, 5:30 with a 2 at 118. Good news is for Tommy Sloan, he's in final. Bad news is he's still 3/10 of a second behind Brancacchio. Gas round number 2. Ken Bradfield, Joe Tudor. Bradfield from Fremont, Ohio. Tudor from Holland, New York. Bradfield in the first round ran a 6:36. First round for Tudor was a 5:56. Decided performance advantage. Joe Tudor. Stage, both bikes away. Even start this time. Not an even finish. Win line, Joe Tudor. 5:42 with a 6 at 125. Here's your other pair, Lee Colesman and Tim James. Colesman from Morgantown, West Virginia. James, Tarrant of Pennsylvania. First round for Colesman was a 5:64. First round for James, way off pace, 12:70 after his opponent red lighted in round number 1. So that 12:70 by no means an indication of what the performance of the machine is. Colesman, James, Pro Gas, semifinals, round number 2. Colesman already in. James inching forward, not even leaving the starting line. Lee Colesman with a win. Easy, 5:62 at 120.
Series number 5:62. Between Joe Tudor and Lee Colesman coming up in about 45 minutes. This is quick. Tell you what, this is the way.
Pro modified round number 2. First pair, this is Michael Acton and Juan Sakata. Acton from Waldorf, Maryland. Sakata, Springfield, Virginia.
We already know that your body is very, very quick. Mike Acton can probably attest to that.
And you just saw the cutoff signal being given to Juan Sakata. And Michael Acton, you can see him ever so slowly inching his way forward, waiting on Juan Sakata, looking over his shoulder, still looking back, not even moving toward the starting line, as Sakata has problems on the burnout. Acton inching forward, holding again. Finally into the beams, and finally here comes Sakata. Acton is already staged. Sakata moving up, and actually pulls the better reaction time of the two. At the finish line, it is Michael Acton. Runs 6:04 with a 3 at 112 miles per hour. Sakata quicker, a 6:03, and loses. Country Mains and Wayne Pollock. Mains from Goldsboro, North Carolina. Pollock from Garner, North Carolina. Mains first round a 6'10". Pollock a 5'65". A half second apart. Huge advantage to Wayne Pollock. He runs the right lane for this pair. Oh, big hole shot. Wind light goes right side. Wayne Pollock 573 with an 8 at 118. And this is our E class final. Frank Rayburn and Don Philpott. Rayburn from Wintersville, Ohio, closest to the camera. Philpott from Bloomington, Illinois, on the right side. Big hole shot goes right side, Don Philpott. But the wind light goes Frank Rayburn, 648 at 105. Left eye takes the win. And this is our G class final. Wilbur Hayes from Derry, Pennsylvania, and Larry Sigelin from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Close off the starting line, 6:15 to a 6:27. Legging it out. Wind light's going to go left side. Wilbur Hayes, 750 with a 3 at 94.
And 94 miles an hour against Wilbur, the second national best player of the year. Harley from Dover and Ryder Broad.
And this is the dial-in ET class final.
24 years.
Ken Gibson, closest to the camera, from Alger, Ohio. He's dialed in at an 8:15. Bill McGrew out of Seville, Ohio, running the pit lane, dialed in at 9:20. This is the only time you'll see a handicap 3 all day at the All Harley Drags. Better reaction time went Gibson. But the wind light goes Bill McGrew, 9:25 with a 7 at 73.
And he did it here today. It's going to be a good one.
And we move to the pro stock final round. Pairing up Lori Francis from Palatine, Illinois, and John Wade from Aiken, South Carolina. Pro stock final for the AHDRA All Harley Drags at Kare Dragway for 1995. Francis closest to the camera. Wade in the far lane. Don't want to tip my hand as to what happens here, but a lot of ladies left the track happy. Gets him right at the finish line. Lori Francis taking the win, runs 5:53. John Wade loses with a 5:56. Lori Francis, your pro stock winner at Kare Dragway. Pro modified final. Michael Acton and Wayne Pollock. Acton, right from Waldorf, Maryland. Pollock, left side of your screen, Garner, North Carolina. The pro modified final round. I won't tip the hand on this one either, but watch the tower side for a dynamite reaction time. Remember, this is a 4/10 pro tree. Acton staging up carefully, in first. That was a 4:23 light. Outstanding, but nowhere near enough. Wayne Pollock with the win at a 5:54 at 125 miles an hour to Michael Acton's 5:99. Wayne Pollock setting a national record for the Pro Modified class on that pass. Pro Gas Final. Lee Colesman, Morgantown, West Virginia. Joe Tudor, Holland, New York. And you can see there is trouble for Lee Colesman. Big trouble. What happened, and you'll see it as the bike is pushed back, the feed line from the nitrous oxide bottle ruptured on the burnout. That's what you see venting out toward the bottom of the bike. Lee Colesman giving the signal to Joe Tudor. It's yours, man. Go get it. And Joe Tudor takes the Pro Gas win on a single. Cruises through at a 5:42 at 123 miles an hour. Moving on up in the performance ladders, a Pro Fuel final. David Horsnall and Bill Furr. Bill Furr, not there. Broke on the last pass, not able to come back around. So David Horsnall from Trenton, New Jersey, just has to stage, get down the track, and he will take the Pro Fuel win here at Kare Dragway. Carries a front wheel down close to the 330 and blasts his way through at a 470 at 151 miles an hour. David Horsnall taking the win at 470 for the 8th mile at Kare Dragway. And as the raindrops were about to approach, we move to the Pro Dragster final. Tommy Sloan and drums Brancacchio. Sloan closest to the camera. Brancacchio furthest away. The decided performance advantage. The drums Brancacchio, the only bike in the 4s in the Pro Dragster category. The helmet, which they refer to as the world's fastest cockroach. Wow, that's what it looks like. I'll tell you, as quick and fast as he is going in the Pro Dragster category, you can probably steer that bike by leaning that helmet one way or the other. Sloan just hoping for a miracle. Red light. Anything. Will it happen? Both bikes pre-staged. Brancacchio the last to stage. First to leave. Edges close to the center line. Drives the bike back away and goes 499 at 141. Drums Brancacchio, your winner in Pro Dragster. And we get to the top fuel final as the rain is already starting to fall. Steve Storter, Bill Furr, both bikes fighting for traction. Furr way off pace at a 7:16. Steve Storter from Cincinnati takes the win at a 5:44 with a 7 at 146 miles an hour. Little victory dance from drums Brancacchio. Hope you enjoyed it. The All Harley Drags on this week's edition of At the Track. I'll see you there.